So, we've talked about what makes the Nismo different to the standard models. We've talked about why I ended up with the Nismo. Let's talk about the actual car itself, not what makes it different, but about the car itself and what it's like. I've had it for 18 months, and I haven't had to pay for servicing, as I said. So, servicing, I don't know really what the costs are. I haven't worried about it. It's a rear-wheel drive car with 350-ish or more brake horsepower. It's just over 350, I think. I know I said 344 for the Nismo, but we'll talk about why it's just over 350 shortly. And it's done 12,000 miles. It's 12,007 miles now it's done in the 18 months that I've had it. I went to the dealers to replace the brakes and the tyres before coming to the Nürburgring because I like to make sure the car's safe, and I thought 12,000 miles I'm going to need to have it done. Yeah, the rear tyres are like 5mm left and the front tyres are 6mm left. The legal limit is 1.5. The brakes still have 60% left on them, and I bought new brakes, new EBC brakes with EBC red stuff pads to go with it, and I got them replaced at the same time, but the brakes that I took home with me still had 60 or 70% left on them. I'm not driving this car properly, is what I take away from that. I thought that they would be much worse for wear. Certainly people on forums say that their tyres are running out much quicker. But my experience of the four-wheel drive Insignia VXR was that the tyres ran out quickly. But on this, I'm doing well. I don't cane it, I don't race everywhere. I'll every now and then give a little bit of a blast because I like it, but I'm not crazy. I don't turn the traction control off. I'm not drifting around corners on my way to work. So I guess that's one of the reasons why I'm doing well in terms of that. So, tyres, you know, the tyres that I've been looking at buying, I think I was going for Michelin Pilot Super Sport 3s or 2s, I forget. And I'd found them for like 200 quid a corner. I spent £1,000 on a set of tyres for the Insignia VXR. They were 20-inch rims. These are 19s. So, you could spend a lot on tyres, but you don't have to spend a lot on tyres. The choice is yours. Brakes, I think I spent 500 quid for the front, 500 quid for the brakes all round. £600 actually for the brakes and brake pads all round, against £1,600 for front brakes for the Insignia VXR. Well worth it. And they're upgraded brakes, you know, the standard brakes on this car aren't vented or drilled. The ones I bought for this are drilled, which are nice, and they look very, very beautiful underneath the wheels and with the red calipers. I only replaced the discs and the pads, obviously I didn't replace the calipers or anything. You know, and that's nice. So, in terms of that, the car hasn't been a fortune for me. The tax and insurance and fuel economy is the problem. 22 to 23 miles per gallon driving it to and from work. I do like a 12-mile journey to work and then a 12-mile journey back. The car doesn't get warmed up. You're going to get that sort of issue. Driving now from home to here, I've done 191 miles, mostly motorway. Cruise control on at motorway speeds, not speeding, honest gov. And I'm getting 29 miles per gallon according to the tripometer. And I can verify that when I fill up, I am getting 29 miles per gallon on these sorts of runs, because I track this kind of thing, because I'm sad in that way. So, it's not great fuel economy, but you know, I'm used to bad fuel economy in cars. So it's kind of part of the course now with me. Insurance, much cheaper than when I first started insuring the Astra. When I started insuring the Astra, that was £1,300 a year because I had no claims. And I was still young at the time. It was a brand new car, turbocharged. Of course they were going to make the money they could out of me. With this, I think I've paid 550 quid for the year. It's still a lot when you think of what some people pay. I know there are people out there paying 200 quid a year for the for a Nismo 370Z, so 550 is still a lot. But I've got 4 or 5 years no claims. I'm in the 30 to 40 age range, so I kind of accept it. So we talked about tax, insurance, fuel economy. Those are the issues. Other problems with the car. Talk briefly about problems. Cup holder. It's a sports car. We're not worried about cup holders, but the cup holder is in a bloody stupid place. If you put anything in here, you can't change gear. You could put a cup in that just peeks over the top of the cup holder. So like a can would probably be alright, but if you put in, let's say, a 500ml bottle, you will not be able to change gear in this car. Bad design. But like I say, it's a sports car, I'm not drinking in it, so it doesn't really matter. What else is bad? What else is bad? It's about all I can really think of. So it's a coupe, so you don't get back seats, fine. But you do get little cubbies, so my travel bag is currently back there now, which has got my passport, money, that kind of thing in it. The boot isn't huge. In terms of litre space, it's actually on par with, let's say, the Mini Cooper that I've got. But it's a different kind of space. It's flatter and different organised, so it's kind of hard. I could fit 3 reusable shopping bags in there quite comfortably, but you know, I can't get more shopping bags than that in there. Luggage I can get more in because you can pile it up and, you know, move things around. So it's not a car that you could, let's say, go on a 2-week holiday for with your girlfriend, wife, or partner, whatever. But for me, coming around my own for the weekend, fine. Sports bag, big camera, rucksack, big umbrella because I believe it's going to rain. You know, I can get all that sort of stuff in easily, so that's fine. You know, and these are things you accept in a car like this. So I wouldn't even call it a drawback. You just come to accept it. However, when you look at the cost of a car like this and what it does, it shows its age as being a bit of a dinosaur, because let's face it, you've got Golf R's and Mercedes A220 AMGs that will do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds for a similar price, and you've got back seats and boot space. They don't look as nice, I don't think, but they're different cars, and it's like when you see things like that, you think, what is the purpose of a car like this? The performance on this is 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, and I can't vouch for that myself. That's brochure, maybe 5.1, I'm not sure. And these cars are doing it in 4.5 seconds. It's half a second difference. But then, is it really that much? I don't know. This doesn't feel that different to me than when I had a car that does 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. How fast do you need to go? 0 to 60 miles an hour is the highest speed you can do in the UK on a road where you'd be doing a standing start in the first place. The only place you can go faster than 60 is the motorway, and that's 70. And you're not going to be going from 0 miles an hour unless you're in traffic and you speed away. But the point is, in 5 seconds, you could be losing your license in the UK. But even that aside, when you look at supercars that are 3.5 seconds, that's a second and a half quicker. A second and a half, that's now to now. And it's not that much, but you've got to spend a lot of money to get there. So I'm kind of happy with this. I mean, the car looks great. It looks like it's just a load of metal welded together. It's not got the refinement of the Porsche Cayman, for example, which is the same price and class range. But I like the way it looks. It's different. It's raw. It's analog, and you can feel it's analog when you're driving it. The gear shifts are analog. Just everything about it is just different to the GTR, which is digital. And I love the GTR. I test drove the GTR, and that tore my face off when I accelerated around it. Went around a roundabout. But this is special, and I do like it. But there are those problems with it, and yes, it's a dinosaur in that respect, that you've got these cars that perform better and are more versatile, but they don't have the theatre that this sort of car has, or will attract the attention that this car has. And that's what this is. When I drive this out to work, like I say, people look at it, I consider myself as doing a public service. I'm doing people a favour. In an old episode of Top Gear, I think James May talked about the theatre of a Lamborghini, and how it's like a piece of art on the road that people can look at and appreciate. And it's nice for other drivers to see. And I feel like this car is that as well, in a non-arrogant kind of way.